And good evening. We are live, everybody. Welcome to the Black Diamond Call for Monday, January 22nd, 2018. John Lavinia here, calling in live from Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'll let everybody in on a little secret that I've been keeping. Maybe I'll save the secret. You know what? I'll save the secret till the end. Yeah, that induces attention. Actually, hopefully I don't need to hold your attention deliberately. Hopefully I'm entertaining enough to hold it. But we do have me here tonight, and only me, alongside all of you who are tuning in live, and of course those of you who listen on our podcast. We're glad you're here with us. Of course, by the way, for our new members who are dialing in, we do host all of these live broadcasts. We do repurpose them for our podcast as well, which you can get on SoundCloud or iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher Radio on demand. So pick the platform of your choice. Go ahead and subscribe, and you can carry me around in your pocket everywhere you go. What a thrill. You can hear me talking all day. Me and my co-hosts, of course. Actually, tonight I'm going to be my own co-host. So I'll introduce the co-host here in just a moment. We did have a co-host planned for tonight, but he had to cancel. So you're stuck with me tonight. But a couple quick announcements. We are having our Apex event, and I won't belabor the point, but we are running out of time for registrations for Apex. So if you're an Apex ticket holder and you plan on joining us, let everybody at the corporate know that you're planning on joining us, right? Because they don't have psychic powers, so you need to go ahead and register that ticket for you and your guest. And of course, the tickets for our big events are for 2 people. And you can just click on the Apex tab inside your Digital Altitude members site. Right from the home page, you'll see all the products listed across the top. Apex is there. Click that, register, and I will see you in Whistler, BC in less than 1 month. Exciting times. Also, we're having our Marketing Mastery event end of March. I think it's the 4th weekend of March, 3rd weekend of March, something like that. And all the details are on digitalaltitude.co/MME, as my brother Glenn just posted in the chat roll. If you're joining us live, look at the chat roll. There's the link. VIP tickets may already be sold out. Last I heard, there were 14 left, and that was hours and hours ago, which is, ancient history now. So I don't know. Maybe there's some left. And undoubtedly, we will have people who get started tomorrow and next week, and they're like, I want a VIP ticket. Can I get a VIP ticket? And the answer is no. You can get on a waiting list in case somebody has to bail. I guess you can maybe buy their VIP ticket, but no, they're almost free, right? Like $297, way underpriced. And of course, the standard pass, the Sherpa pass, is $97. Unless you're coming with your spouse, then it's even less. You get a discount. I think it's like $79 per person or something like that. This is a gift, by the way. I've said this before, but I know we've got a lot of new people, so I'll say it again. Marketing Mastery events are a gift that Michael gives everybody a couple times a year, right? And there's not only the event, which costs him hundreds of thousands of dollars to host, right? It's not like we're going to the Econo Lodge, in the middle of nowhere, USA. I mean, we're going on the beach of San Diego in one of the big high-rise, Hyatt something, whatever it's called. Sorry, guys, I'm not too much into titles. I know it's a really awesome hotel. It's one of the ones you see when you look at the San Diego skyline. It is just spectacular. And so we're going to be going into that place, right? We're going to be owning that place. So, yeah, that's no small endeavor. And Michael really over-delivers. Plus, there's $153,000 in cash and fabulous prizes, including a car, being given away at that event. And guess who's in that contest? That's right, you are. So, and there are prizes to win for seasoned veterans as well as, brand new people who just started marketing or maybe start marketing next week, right? Totally open field, and you can take home some of that bacon. So get the details over at digitalaltitude.co/MME. And there are my announcements for tonight. So let me go ahead and invent a topic and introduce my guest speaker since I'm here with you alone. So tonight we're going to be hearing from John Lavinia. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad to be here, John. Oh, it's always a pleasure when you speak. Okay, great. Thank you. So what are we going to talk about here tonight? I was just reminded of, as I was looking at the chat roll and my Skype today, which is lit up like a Christmas tree, as it is every Monday, I was reminded about a topic that I want to share with you. This is going to be impromptu. Oh, I should give you my standard disclaimers. This is a Black Diamond call, so we talk for however long we feel like it. And you're going to hear about my opinion on stuff, me, John Lavinia, how I run my life and my business. and what's gotten me to the top in this industry, which we're all in, right? Top tier direct sales. This is what we do. It's what I've been doing for a long time. And so the rules are for this call, it's like a buffet. Take what you like and leave the rest, right? See how these ideas shake out in your own life. I'm not just here to entertain you, although I hope I do. I'm here to give you something that you can use, right? This is for use. So please use it. And then, of course, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how I roll. And I may, in fact, do that tonight for some people. So so here's what I'm thinking about. As I was looking at my Christmas tree of a Skype account today, and by the way, everybody should be on Skype. You should know Skype like the back of your hand. It should be loaded on every single device you have with the same exact username and password on every device. Not two, one. One username and password for all devices. This way everything synchronizes and you can get in touch with who you need to get in touch with and have all their history right there and the files and everything you need. God bless Skype. Hooray for Skype. I don't know about that new interface that they put on the iPhone, but yeah, I've got a lot of people bitching about that, but including me. Man, I ripped them a new one. They changed their user interface. It was working fine. And now we got these colors and binging and bonging going on. I don't even know what that is. It's a great communication tool, though. But anyway, so I was looking at all the stuff, all the activity that has happened today. First of all, I want to congratulate all the people who have discovered and taken action on the digital altitude opportunity. You know, this is not a small thing. And in terms of what it takes to run all this, I mean, you could see. I mean, just look at the website, look at the Marketing Mastery event page, right? I mean, this is huge. There are about 150 people behind the scenes that make this whole thing work for you, so that you could do one thing, and that one thing is marketing. The one thing is marketing, right? And if you get good at that, guess what? You could pay everybody to do everything else, right? Marketing and sales is the highest paid profession in the world. Statistically, it is, right? So now there are other things that you could be doing with your time, but no, you're here. You're here. Well, that's an indicator. That's an indicator that you have evaluated this opportunity and decided that it was better than other things that you could be doing with your time right now. Are there other things you could be doing to make money? Certainly. Are there other things that you could be doing to just pass your time and not make money? Certainly. That's what most people do. You know, the average American watches over 5 hours of television per day. How's that sound? How's that sound? My goodness. So there's that. Okay. Plus, combined with social media and how much crap people are inflowing every day into their brain. I don't know the exact statistic on combined media, television plus social media, but it's somewhere around double the TV stat. So it's around 10 hours a day that people are looking at a screen on average. Now, some people do that more purposefully than others, right? You may be looking at a screen 10 hours a day and making a pile of money because you're interacting with people in the marketplace and you're causing traffic to happen, right? You're executing marketing using the internet, okay, media of some sort. Okay, that's fine. But you're doing it as a producer, not just as a consumer. You understand the difference, right? It's one thing to veg out in front of a TV or in front of Facebook and watch, read what your friend ate for lunch and how many times a celebrity got divorced and, uninformed opinions about everything under the sun. I mean, that's one thing you could do, right? And be a consumer. And there's a time for being a consumer. That's fine. I consume media. That's great. But there's times to be a producer. And that's when you've got something of value to offer in the marketplace, which you do. And here's my point, is that you evaluated to whatever degree you did your due diligence, to whatever degree you're able to do due diligence, because you may or may not have much contrast. You may or may not have much experience with what else you could be doing. Right? Maybe you've just worked a job for the last 20 years of your life. I don't know. Right? We've got people that come from all different backgrounds. We've got 18-year-olds who, they just wanted to get in to the corporate world, but they couldn't. And then we got, people in their 60s who they're just looking to get out of the corporate world, all right? And they're wondering how they can because they're trapped, right? They need to replace a six-figure income. Okay, so you see that's stark contrast right there. So you may or may not have the data with which you could do due diligence about an opportunity such as this. However, I can tell you unequivocally that you're all very fortunate that you're here. And that's because I do have the data, the contrast, the experience that qualifies me to do this thing called due diligence. And when I was offered an opportunity to come here and work with this cat, Michael Force. Who's this guy, right? Interestingly, our paths had never crossed before. I decided to come here and set up this conference call series and the live broadcast and do some coaching here with some of our new members. We had both been very successful, obviously, in the 15 to 20 years that we've been doing this each, but we had never worked together. So it was an interesting, meeting of the minds. That was arranged, by the way, by a guy named Jason Howell, who you guys need to meet. You just meet him at the upcoming event. What a great guy. He's my brother in the business. We got started in direct sales on the same day back in 2002. We were both newbies. Nobody knew who we were. We went to our first event. We were broke. We were scraping together money. Jason, if you listen to this, you'll remember. We were scraping together money to buy breakfast at the Atlantis Resort in Nassau, Paradise Island, Bahamas, right? And it was like $35 for breakfast. My goodness. But yeah, here we are all these years later, and Jason's like, hey, John Lavenia, Michael Force, John Lavenia. And here we are. I'm about a year and a half into this. And Digital Altitude's about 2 years into the marketplace now. So understand that the timing here is just spectacular. For everyone listening to this right now, you're in a company that's not even 2 years in the marketplace that's already broken every record in the top-tier direct sales space. And that did not happen on a whim, by the way. That was not, oh, how fortuitous. I wonder what worked. No, we know what works, and that's why records are broken here. And that's why you hear the success stories and the experiences that people have, because this was not just something that we just showed up, or Michael just showed up and on a whim. And I've seen this. Here's the due diligence that I'm talking about. I've seen this in other programs, and they come and go, and it's all personality driven. There's no rock. There's no substance. There's no foundation. And so when I think about Digital Altitude, and this may sound like just a sales pitch for Digital Altitude, but that's not my intention. Okay, I'm already talking to the choir here, right? So I mean, we're all already in. Okay, so obviously this is not for guests. This is for our members here. But I can tell you what, I could use reminders all the time, and reinforcement, and clarity on things that are easy to forget, to forget. All right, so this thing was put together with great care. It took about a year to even launch this. Okay, so we're going back to 2014 or 15 here. Well, Michael had the idea to put all this together based on what he saw working and what not working, right? And to take the best and leave the rest, which is what I urge you to do. Okay, so here we are. So I evaluated this opportunity, and most importantly, the people that were behind it. I have discovered at great expense. I have discovered that more important than what you do is who you do it with. At least as important as what business you do is who you're doing that business with. That lesson cost me some millions. Yes, millions. Okay, so I just saved you millions of dollars, hopefully. You could send me a check for half of that if you like. You probably won't, but anyway, I want you to get some value here. Okay, so understand the gravity, or the gravitas, I should say, with which I communicate to you here. So, so here we go. Here's this thing that we decided to enroll in. And you know what? I hear a lot from people who I get to coach, especially those who have gotten through their 18 steps. They've done their business plans. They're launching their marketing. They're on the Facebook groups. Guess what I hear a lot? I got contacted by this guy, and he was saying that, Digital Altitude, I don't know, I didn't make money with that thing, but, I found this other thing. You know where we're going with this, right? And I got, I got this other thing, on Facebook where somebody was saying they got the magic leads, and they got this automatic lead money machine thing, and they can get leads for me, and they've got a program, where, while I'm building my momentum with Digital Altitude, I could be making money with this other thing. It's a lower ticket thing, and then I could, build up my money, and then, really take on DA hard and heavy, Right? I heard about that thing. And I heard about this, this other thing, this critical person. They were being critical, and, they had a lot of gripes, and what about these gripes here? And what about all this other gossip I heard, right? And so And there's this new thing, this new shiny thing. Did you hear about the new shiny thing? And it's dealing with cryptocurrency. And wow, I mean, maybe people are making 100 grand a week over there. You should see this. And you don't even have to sell, man. You could be a friggin' idiot and get rich. That sounds great, man. The grass is greener, John. The grass is greener on the other side. Oh, they just got shut down. Too bad. Oh, well, there was another one. Oh, they shut down 3 days later. Oops. And I hear Michael talk about this sometimes in our staff meetings. I'm under non-disclosure, so I can't talk about specifics like where our next Ascend event is going to be, which I know it's awesome. Wait till you guys see this. Somewhere I always wanted to go, and then when I finally went, I was so glad I did. It's awesome. Awesome. And tropical. It's not another Winter Wonderland bit like we're doing with Apex, which is also awesome. And it's a rare occurrence that we do that too. So savor that for those Apex members. That's going to be great. And bring your snowboards and skis and dog sledding shoes or whatever you do. I'm going to dog sled. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like yell mush and stuff. I've never done that. I want to do that. The dogs apparently like it. I'm thinking, I don't know, the dogs probably want to go, you know, get warm and stuff. No, they love it. They're huskies, man. They just love pulling in the snow. Anyway, so what was I saying? Grass being greener, and Michael, you know, talking about people getting distracted with the shiny objects and the latest crypto Ponzi or something, and then sure enough, right? So there is wisdom in experience, right? Michael, myself, other people here on staff, we didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday, right? We've been around. So again, I'd say more important than what business you do is who you do it with. I know a lot of people follow the Pied Piper down some interesting roads, you know, and I get to meet them. It is not uncommon that I will speak with a student who just got a RISE program, and you know they are really loving this whole digital aptitude thing. My goodness, the coaches, and I'm actually getting to talk with people who've really made money and millions of dollars in some cases. I mean, here's you, John Lavenia, and all these people, and we're on these training calls. This is why didn't I find this a year and a half ago? Well, I don't know. You didn't. I didn't find it a year and a half ago either. I had to have my door banged down by a friend and said, hey, you know, check out what this guy Michael Force is doing. Okay, because I'm busy. I'm running my own companies. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got to get my next book out. I know I promised some of you another book. And where's the book, John? I got to go seclude myself. I got to go. You know how I wrote my first book? I went to a cabin in the Sedona, Arizona area. Any of you ever been to Sedona? It's the red rocks and a lot of hippies and crystals and incense and crap, but really, you know, cool, like rocks to look at, you know, the river and the red rocks and the cliffs and all that. So I went and sequestered myself for a week, and I emerged a week later, and there was integrity is everything. But and then it took me a year to edit it, a week to write, a year to edit. But anyway, I got to get my next book out. But the idea here that I'm attempting to convey is that we know stuff. Okay, is that we've been around to the point where we can, without flinching, see the folly of what a lot of people tend to do. And that was the point that I was making, was I hear people that come in and they say, you know what, I did this other thing. You know, I'm here, I want to take this digital aptitude on. Where was this, you know, a year and a half ago or whatever? Because I just lost 20 grand in, you know, some other deal, you know, binary options or some BS, right? Any of you ever done any of that? Great sales pitch. Oh my goodness, instant millions. Again, you can be an idiot and get rich. All you got to do is click here and buy our special software and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, people buy that. People buy that all day long. And then, oh, that wasn't as authentic as we had hoped. So, and I'm sorry to laugh if you've been taken by stuff like that. Okay, I'm not laughing at you. I've just seen it again and again and again and again. And you know what? The people who push this crap, they are unscrupulous. They don't give a damn. As soon as that one goes down, they're on to them. They got two or three more. Now, here's the thing, guys. I like to sleep well at night, and I do. And I do. You know, because, once again, this is built on purpose. So here's what I'm talking about tonight, in case you haven't gotten the message yet or gotten it through inference. And that is, the evaluation of opportunity and the cost of opportunity. Because for as long as you're here doing this, like right now in this exact moment you're listening to this call, unless you're just listening while you're washing the dishes or something, you're basically choosing to do this over doing something else. And in the broader picture, building this business with Digital Altitude, you're choosing to do that instead of doing something else that you could be doing. Yes, you could be doing another business. You could be working a job. You could be watching television. Fill in the blank. I don't know. There's a myriad of opportunities. You could be taking astronaut school and getting ready to go to the moon or something. I don't know. Lots of things you could be doing. But you chose this. Why? Because to whatever degree that you did your due diligence, you evaluated that the time and effort and money it would cost you to engage in this opportunity was a better investment than all these other things you could do. As seductive or non-seductive as they may be, and as purposeful or not purposeful as they may be. But this is it. This is the best use of your time. Clearly, I decided that too, or you wouldn't be hearing my voice right now. Clearly, providing value in this community through coaching and through hosting all these training calls and such, I see this as a better use of my time than lots of other things that I could be doing. Is this the only thing that I'm involved with in my world? No. You guys know that I got lots of stuff going on, including this book I got to get out. And like if you were on the wake-up call this morning, you guys, we heard from Cassandra, and she was out doing some shooting, and those of you who know, I'm into tactical training and all that stuff. I ride a Harley, I do snowboarding, although I haven't done it much lately. And what else? I play guitar, really, really bad, by the way. I got 4 guitars in my office, though. I dust them off every now and then just to feel like what they feel like when I touch them. Thanks, Glenn. I'm saying Glenn in the chat roll. But the idea here is that this is a good use of our time. Okay, because the grass isn't greener. There's my point. Now, is Digital Altitude perfect? No. And you know what? Some of you know that I'm a fan of Lexus automobiles, and I think it's great product, fantastic product. Toyota, great car company. Lexus, they're top of the line stuff. I've owned 2 Lexus in my time so far. I'll probably get another one. Depends on how much garage space I end up with. Excuse me. But I remember back in I think it was the late 80s when Toyota launched their Lexus brand. They had this TV commercial, and it had a marble. Some of you may remember this. This was on American television. They had a marble that was traveling down the grooves of the car, like between the hood and the fender well, right? And on the different lines where the different parts of the car connect. They were rolling a marble down these lines, and the marble was rolling perfectly down the lines of the car. No jitter, absolutely smooth, okay? And it was Lexus, the passionate pursuit of perfection. I was like, oh, that is nice. Look at that. Okay, so they're demonstrating how committed to detail and specification they are. This is the passionate pursuit of perfection. And for any perfectionist, man, that is some sexy stuff right there. Look at that marble. That is going down those lines, and look at the gap between those 2 parts. It is absolutely perfect. Okay, so sign me up for that. Now, is that real? No, of course not perfect. You can get out microscopes and stuff. There's no such thing as perfect. No such thing as perfect. I got it, my first Lexus. It wasn't perfect. It was freaking awesome, but it wasn't perfect. Okay, had to go in for maintenance, and there was a couple things. One of the I think it was the glove box. Had a little something weird with its hydraulic shock that makes the glove box open nice and smooth, so it doesn't just slam down like my old 1970s Pontiac or something, but it wasn't exactly perfect. Okay, so is Digital Altitude, or anything for that matter, exactly perfect? No. Try beating it though. Good luck. I'll tell you what. Here's the interesting thing: is that to amass the staff and the know-how and the experience that has been put together, that has come together behind the scenes here to make this whole thing work, so that all you got to do is marketing. That is no small thing. And you don't get people to say yes to that. You don't get people like John Lavenia to say yes to that. If it's something that was just thrown together on a whim that was built on sand. Look, I've been around those companies. I've been in those companies. Okay? And I can tell you what, charisma only goes so far. Okay? Personality-driven businesses, and some of you may have experience with this, right? Where you got like some cult going on and and it's just because, the so-called leader said so, and that's why, right? That only goes so far. Okay. In fact, I know one of those guys who started a company like that and then wound up crashing it, did some really stupid stuff, and now he's out there pitching his next deal. So, and I'm sure he'll have people who just join again because, they drank so much Kool-Aid, their eyes are red. But the point is that it's got to be built on rock. There's got to be a foundation. That foundation must be one of purpose. Does that mean, even if the purpose is perfect, does that mean execution is perfect? Of course not. Of course not. But I can tell you what, you can pick your problems in life. And there are people who have problems that I don't want. They're problems I used to have. Example, having to go answer to a boss every day, right? That's a problem that I don't want to have anymore. Not having control of my time. Having my pay cut 3 times a year because the corporation thought I was making too much money, despite the fact that I worked 70 to 80 hours a week and I outproduced everybody. Right? I don't want that problem anymore. I don't want a ceiling on my income, or for them to lie to me and tell me it's a promotion while they cut my pay. Yeah, promotion. Sign here. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, it's kind of a short-sighted way to manage people, but hey, corporations could do what they want with their employees, right? They're in control. I like to have control of my life. What about companies that are so mismanaged that they are unable to fulfill their commitments? They don't deliver on their promises. Now, sometimes there are delays. There are things that certainly issues happen, right? We've got issues in DA. We've got issues. Anything is going to have issues. But are there people behind the scenes correcting those issues and making stuff happen? Absolutely. We had a couple of issues today, in fact, and I want to acknowledge someone named Kathy Flynn. For those of you who don't know Kathy Flynn, she is the head of customer care support. I don't know the exact title. You guys know I'm not into titles, but she's the head muckety-muck of the service and support and quality customer assurance something. And she has bent over backwards to handle and make happy people who were rightly had a gripe about stuff. Okay? Isn't it good to know that you've got people like that? By the way, if you don't know Kathy, you can meet her on the Base Camp broadcast on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. She does a broadcast right here on DALivecall.com. It's for new people. Okay, so if you've been here more than a couple of weeks, you're not going to learn anything new there, but tour of the back office and basic stuff. How to set up Skype and things like that. But the point is that here she is, and you know what? I will say that she probably puts in 20 hours a day. I mean, anytime I've texted her on Skype, and I can't give you her Skype text, that's classified. But as a department head, I've got the other department heads here on Skype, and I said, Kathy, I got a turd. We need to go take care of this, and she is on it, like all hours of the day. Amazing woman. So, and you'll meet her at the Marketing Mastery event as well. But here's my point, right? Without that, could we do what we do? As a marketer, if you didn't have all the back-end delivery and support systems, okay, if this thing was just some online marketing deal, right, that comes and goes, well, no. As soon as you hit a snag, typically in the first year, that's it. The whole thing's going down, So hold your head high and be glad, my friends. Feel blessed, because you are. Okay? Again, not perfect, but problems get handled here as quickly as humanly possible. And you know what? On that point, what does that mean for us when we consider how we're going to allocate our time? A lot of times, as marketers, we sometimes look to secondary issues, things that are already handled for us that we think we have to handle ourselves. And again, this may come from our conditioning or a training pattern that we've been indoctrinated into by other things that we've done in our life. For example, I need to go create a website because I'm in this online business deal now, and I need to, have my website. Well, you've already got 9 of them just for signing up here. Once you've gone through your 18 steps, you activate your affiliate links. You got 9 complete websites ready to go, all encoded to you, your affiliate links, right? There they are. So you've got in stock, ready to go materials and assets. Does that mean you don't ever create your own stuff? No, of course, that's just more advanced, but you don't have to focus on that right now. You can get into the one thing that makes you the most money, which is marketing. Marketing, yes, marketing. So let's cover what marketing is here real quick. A quick reminder on our definitions, because we've got to know what words mean if we're going to do something with the education. So the word marketing, here's my favorite definition. The act of marketing is the act of reaching into the public, impinging on their space, and putting their attention on that which you offer, purpose of which is to increase the demand for what you supply. I'll say it again. Marketing is the act of reaching into the public, impinging on their space, and putting their attention on that which you offer, purpose of which is to increase the demand for what you supply. That's marketing. Do that really well. Focus on that, and only that, and you will have so many leads coming in, it'll be ridiculous. And fortunately, once again, you've got about 100 setup coaches on staff to talk to all these leads so you don't have to. There was a time when I called hundreds of leads a week. I don't anymore. I'm not a setup coach, right? Those guys love doing that. And they're good at it. They're awesome. And why? Because they love it. It's good stuff, right? Know your post. And so they know their post. You know your post, and that is marketer, right? Now what? What other secondary issues could you get into, right? How about policing the internet for, commentary and engaging every person in the world who may or may not, often does not, require or deserve your attention, right? That is not your post, right? We've got PR and SEO people and all kinds of stuff that back up digital altitude and the brand and all that. This is not your thing, and this is something that I certainly have gotten into that trap with, where some critic wants to say something about this thing that I love, and I'm ready to fight. I love to fight, on the internet. Oh, somebody wants to debate with me? Oh, good luck. Good luck. Unfortunately, you can't make sense with people who are irrational, right? So regardless of how good my arguments may be and how nonsensical and retarded theirs may be, they're not, it's not going to mean anything, right? It's not going to mean anything. So people have, you got to sort of pick your battles. And here's the interesting thing about it too, and this may be a bit highbrow for this conversation tonight, but get what I'm saying here. There's a time to create and there's a time to destroy. Marketing is a creation. That's a creative mind that does that. You're creating volume. You're creating traffic. You're creating interest. You're creating demand. That's a creative act, okay? That is not a destructive act. Fighting is a destructive act, okay? And there's a time to do that, and there are people who do that very, very well, okay? They're the legal types. They're the people that, lawyers and compliance people and, people that like to, they just like to fight. They've made a whole profession out of it. They're not marketers. No. They know their post. Destroy. That's their post. That's not creative, okay? So you see that? See the compartmentalization? Now, again, you can't do this if you've got to wear all the different hats, right? So again, I say evaluate the opportunity, not just on its surface, okay, but on all the things underneath that make it run and that keep your plate clean, keeps the track smooth, just like that marble rolling down the crevices of the Lexus, nice and smooth, right? Is it exactly perfect? No, the crevices in the car were not exactly perfect, but it sure looked good on camera, okay? And they sure sold some cars, and I bought 2 of them, yes, and I'd buy 5 more. They're awesome, okay? And what I can tell you here is whether you know it or not, you have found yourself in an amazing position with this. So why am I covering all this tonight? Well, you may guess why, because it is the first month of the year. And people come out of the woodwork first month of the year. And it is the wild friggin' West right now on the internet. Wild West. And there's all kinds of stuff that you could be distracted with, that you could do. And like I just mentioned, just this month, just in the last couple of weeks, we saw some really shiny stuff hit a wall. Okay? And I don't know that Michael Force or any of the other more experienced people here on staff are sitting back saying, I told you so. It's not about that. Okay? But it's very interesting to see here come lots of people who kind of put DA on the back burner, and now, oh man, DA is great. This is the best thing ever. I'm not sure why I, got distracted. And again, when you've been around for as long as people like myself and Michael, you get to, it's just very predictable, very predictable. So yeah, let me save you some time and some heartache, and get focused on this, because you got so much here that's right, so much that's right. Perfect, no. Right, absolutely. Get on with this, because you know what? We've heard from people here in the digital altitude community who just less than a year ago were just broke. Perfect example, Sarah, right? So those of you who have heard from Sarah, if you're brand new, we got this person here named Sarah. She's 20-something years old. She's the 5-foot traveler. She never made more than 20 grand a year before. And she just had her first 6-figure month, less than a year in the business. Okay, so there's just one example. We had Jade Scarfone on the Black Diamond call last week. Yes, last week. And she's approaching, I think, 400,000 in sales in just since August. So you can go really fast with this, but it doesn't happen by multitasking or something, or as the old saying goes, the fox that chases 2 rabbits catches neither, right? Get focused. You've made a decision. Now make it right, okay? And then don't turn your back on your decisions once you make them. That's the other thing we see quite often in the first month of the year, because people get these New Year's resolutions, right? This is the year I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to get my body together. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to make more money. This is the year. Of course, they said that last year too, but this is the year, right? Now, a decision without action is not a decision, okay? When we make a decision, and I know I'm kind of branching off into side topics here, but deal with it. When we make a decision, that's a cutting off point. The word decision comes from the Latin root word decidere, which means to cut off from. To cut off from. That's what it is. We're cutting ourselves off from all other possibilities. So I will earn X amount of dollars by such and such date this year, right? So that's the decision. We're cutting ourselves off from any other possibilities. That is the guaranteed future outcome now. Now that we've made that decision, now we got to make it right. Okay, what does that mean? Well, it means we got to learn some stuff, like how to do this marketing thing that John just defined twice for us. What else does that mean? That means we've got to be wise. Be wise with our allocation of time and our attention. We only have so much attention, okay? You're not going to go chasing around 10 different rabbits and shiny objects and grass is greener and all that stuff. No, you're going to get focused on this if you want it to bear fruit, right? By the way, I remember... Speaking of Sarah, I know she was approached by the bearers of shiny objects. And she's like, oh, DA, that's what I'm doing. And now she's having 6-figure months, and they're not. So there's that. Again, I will not disclose anything more than that. But I can just tell you that that's the thing. When you start to make your mark, everybody wants to get in your pocket, right? Everybody wants to, show you the next shiny thing. But she made a decision. You see, that's a decision maker right there. Sarah's a decision maker. Is she special? Does she have magical powers or something? No, no, she doesn't. She didn't know a damn thing about marketing a year ago. She knew how to go traveling and stay in youth hostels and whatever, and backpacking in the Klondike or whatever she does. But but making money online? Oh my goodness, no. You should have seen how nervous she was the first time I brought her on stage. We were going to do this bit where we have like rising stars, right? They're going to be on stage for the first time. Sarah was one of them. It's like, all right, bring her up. Here we go. She was so nervous, and now, right? I mean, people hang on every word. Sarah, how do you do it? She's got the great laugh, too. Okay, how about you? Do you need to be special or something? Is there something you're lacking? I think not. Almost everything is done for you here. All you got to do is the marketing. That's it. Just increase the demand for what you supply. That's it. Do that. Do that and only that. And watch what happens. I'll tell you, you can't do one thing over and over and over again without getting really good at it, whether you like it or not. Some of you know I'm into metal music, and there's this band, I don't know if they're still around, a band called Dragon Force. Any of you ever heard of a band called Dragon Force? They amazingly talented guitarists, all of them. They're very amazing. But these two guitarists, Steve Topman and Herman Lee, I think are their names, they practice for 12 hours a day. And they've been accused of using, overdubs and studio trickery to make their music, because most humans can't play that on a guitar. It's like humanly impossible. They're just so talented. And they're like, no, it's us. But I mean, you hear us live, you'll hear mistakes, but we practice 12 hours a day. And we do take after take after take. I mean, that is, it's like impossible even for us to play it. So imagine if you did this 12 hours a day. Do you have to? No, you don't have to do anything. Okay? I could tell you when I got started in direct sales, I finally found a way to start getting paid the money that I thought I was worth. Well, I became a student of this. I lived it and breathed it, and this was it. Does that mean I didn't enjoy my life or something? No. No, I enjoyed my life immensely because I had purpose and I was going somewhere. I could finally do something about my situation. I was enjoying it immensely. What was I enjoying? I was enjoying the work. Yes, the work, goal achievement. I mean, what could be better than that, right? Does that mean that I'm missing out on a bunch of entertainment or something? I didn't even think about that. All I thought about is I'm actually going to reach my goals for the first time in years. What food? What's food? I don't care about food, right? I am working, and I am loving it because I know where I'm going. I finally have a way to get there. I can finally do something about it and have the control that I've been wanting in my life all my life. That's the kind of passion that gets it done. Now, if you don't recognize that, hopefully after listening to just some of my dissertations here tonight, you can grasp that that I know that we're on the right path. I want you to know it, right? I want you to know it and not be a dilettante, not be, oh, this is nice. Oh, wait, what's that other thing? Yeah, this sounds good, but, or, yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, you know what? I got this, I got that, I got a million other things that are more urgent, not more important, but more urgent. Let me go do that. Or, oh, I'm scared, and therefore let me play to not lose instead of playing to win. That's a subtle one. That one creeps in there. Man, that's ugly stuff too. Ugly stuff. That takes people out. Indecision. Indecision. Attention versus counter-intention. This takes people out. So, build your intention. Sell this to yourself to the point where you have no question in your mind that you're on the right path. Okay? And then at that point, it's like effortless to go become a top earner here. It is not some heroic act of marketing, specialness or something. No, it is between your ears, right? And that resolve, okay, I'm not talking about the New Year's resolutionist who it gets resolved for like 1 hour a year. I'm talking about real resolve that happens right now, regardless of what the calendar says. That resolve will bring you where you want to go in life. Okay, fortunately for you, you've got the best vehicle that I could see in the marketplace, and I've seen a lot. So again, hold your head high and be proud. You're in a really good spot. Now, the only variable here, as far as the marketing, is you. There's a ton of variables in the marketplace, right? Obviously, right? All marketing is a test, and if you're just getting into marketing training now, you're going to be learning a lot. And one of the things you're going to learn is that all marketing is a test, right? We don't know, even our top earners, we don't know which campaign is going to be the big hit or, what this one's going to do. How about that email? I don't know. The marketplace will tell you. But what we do know is that where two people can have the exact same opportunity and have completely different results, the variable is the individual. Yes, the individual. And that, my friends, is why you, as a piece of this puzzle, I've been talking about corporate staff and all the foundational stuff that's behind the scenes that makes this run for you. But you are an equally important part of that machinery. Think about it. Without you putting traffic in, without you causing marketing to occur, what are we doing here? We're having a hobby. We're looking at websites that don't make any money. We're screwing around with products and events, right, that nobody is interested in. It's marketing. You got to have marketing. That's it. That's how important you are. None of this means anything without you. That's how important you are. And because there's nobody else just like you, there's a million different skins we can put on this, right? There are people who will gladly participate with you, who would never, answer an ad from like me or, Sarah. Oh my goodness, Sarah, 25-year-old girl. What could she possibly know? But you, right? Or this John Lavenia guy. He's into personal development stuff. I'm into, golf. He doesn't like golf. I don't like golf, guys. I will only get started with somebody who plays golf. I mean, if you're not a golfer, after all, I've heard billionaires tell me that I should play golf, right? And this guy, John, he must not know it because he doesn't play golf. Yeah. So there's that. Obviously, that sounds ridiculous, okay? For me, it does, right? Because I'm a high IQ person, and I just, if somebody could teach me something, I want to learn. I don't care if they're a Martian. Really, I don't care. Can you show me how to get what I want? Fine, sign me up for that. Okay, the point is that you did sign up for that. Okay, now stay your course and know that you're on the right track. And if you don't know, then nobody else can know. And right there's the trick. Right there it is. It's the biggest sale you can make. And it's the one that causes you, as the individual, to be even more valuable. Okay, you sell this to you before you sell it to anybody else. You do your due diligence. To whatever degree you've already done it, you've done it. Okay, now you're here. Now you're here. Very good. Understand why you're here and understand what people are looking for in the marketplace. They're looking for somebody who knows where they're going, who could lead them in that direction without having to pioneer this whole thing themselves, because they've been beaten up again and again, or they couldn't even get into the game. Because right out of college, with their $150,000 with their useless student loan debt and an education that's worth nothing in the marketplace, they can't even get their foot in the door. Okay, they got to go put an orange apron on and sell nails and screws at Home Depot now. Okay, or a green apron, and they're going to serve coffee at Starbucks. Right, that's where they're at. That's the sham that's been run on them here in this country and in other places as well. Go be a benefit to them. Go show them the path. But you've got to know it first. You cannot give what you have not got. You've got to know it. Okay, I am sold myself. I am sold myself, and because of that, I am now qualified to lead others. And if you don't have the experience that I have, and almost none of you on this line do, then just know that I do, and I'm here. And there you go. There's part of your due diligence right there. All right. So how's that for a topic that I pulled out of nowhere because my guest speaker wasn't able to be here tonight? This is from the heart, guys. Okay, and again, this is thank you for your acknowledgments in the chat roll. Annette, Jagdish, thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and open it for Q&A. If anybody wants to talk, we can go ahead and do that. Hold on, here we go. So you guys know the drill. Q&A, hit the mic button or *6 on your phone if you want to come out and talk. And what is the topic? The topic is the cost of opportunity, right? Because every moment that we're here, we're not doing something else, right? So consider that. You're here. Evaluation of opportunity and making decisions based on the results that we come with. You know, the whole purpose of investigation is to come to a conclusion. I've come to a conclusion, and hopefully you all have as well. Okay, and so you're here. So you made that decision. Now let's make it right. Okay, I want all of you to be guest speakers on this call. This isn't about me lecturing you. This is about you stepping in and being my next guest speaker on one of these calls. So we do have the lines open now. If you'd like to participate, come on out. And I see no hands raised yet. I know there's a bit of a perhaps intense topic, especially for our new people tonight, but I just feel like that was what was in my heart tonight because, I got to handle a lot of stuff today. It's Monday. It's a big day. Big day. It was a huge day today. So in a good way. And also, we get to put out some fires too. So there's that. So we got a couple people in queue here. Let's go to our first, which is Jagdish. You're live on the air. How you doing, brother?
Hey, John, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm kind of fired up tonight, as you can tell.
Oh.
And I'm also, you know what, I'm a little bit pissed off because I see good people getting screwed on the internet, and they should be here. And you know what? It's up to you to go get them and go wake them up, go smack them and say, hey, butthole, come over here so you stop making an ass of yourself.
That's a good place to start. Yes, I just wanna share with you and with everyone who's listening that, you know, for someone who hasn't been down this path before, this path of internet marketing, and certainly not this path of being on digital altitude, for someone like that, it is challenging to keep the focus because, you know, we're looking at screens all day long, and screens are full of all these objects, all these shiny objects all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say I've had my moments of distractedness, if you want to call it that. But time and again, I've pulled myself back and said, nope, this is a path I've chosen. It's a decision I've made, and this is it. So DA is where I'm putting all my energy, all my effort, all my time, all my money, all my attention, all of it. And I believe that is how results can be produced. So I just want to share with you and anyone else who's listening, it's a journey. You gotta keep plugging at it, learn what needs to be learned. And also a second point that I want to share is that when I first started listening to you and your other guests on these calls, there's a lot of emphasis, and there still is, a lot of emphasis on mindset. So mindset being 80-90% of what we do. And when I first heard you say the message is not important, but who's sending out the message, that's more important than the message itself. Who's doing the work? So it's taken me a while to understand it, but now I get it. And I think for anyone listening, if you think that it's the tactics and the techniques and the buttons and the tools and the tricks and the traffic and the newest social media, this or that, all of that can be learned far, far easier. I think the focus for anyone getting into this or trying to move to the next level is to focus on mindset first. I think that's where the magic happens.
I agree. And you know what? The mindset that produces the resolve and the decisiveness of a top earner is the prerequisite to executing whatever training that you may engage in, which is different for everybody, right? So like you were just indicating, Jagdish, the tactics. Okay, so we're going to do the Facebook Live videos. Okay. That's one strategy, I suppose. And we hate that strategy. We're going to do search engine optimization. Okay. Oh no, we hate that. We're going to do YouTube videos. Oh, okay. So they're all interchangeable, and you're probably not going to do them all. But I don't think you would anyway. But fine. Who's doing it? That's the question, because there's lots of people engaged in Facebook Live videos. Think about that. Let's just take that one example. Here's a Facebook Live video. And you've got people looking. Okay, hopefully you've got some people tuning in. And what happens? What comes out of your mouth, right? Do you have to be eloquent? Do you have to be, scripted and perfectly well spoken? Are you reading from a teleprompter? You know what I would say? That would probably be not as attractive as somebody who just knows what the hell they're talking about and could speak authentically. I didn't have a script here tonight, Jagdish. I had a few minutes to come up with a topic because my speaker wasn't going to be here, and I did. I came up with a topic, and I hope I delivered some value. But it's not like I'm sitting here saying, oh, this has to occur this certain way. I'm just giving you what I think is the most valuable thing from my heart right now. Okay,
I think you've over-delivered as always, John.
Oh well, thank you for saying that, Jagdish. And I know that this topic tonight isn't rainbows, bunnies, and unicorns, okay? But it's the reality of online marketing.
Yeah.
And so could I deliver that on a moment's notice if I, excuse me, if I didn't already know? No, you've got to already know. And so that's where the personal development comes in. What you put in is what comes out, right? So you go read books for 30 years, like I've done, and watch what happens when you open your mouth. And then people will listen, because there's iron in your words. That's something I wrote about in my first book. And wait till you see my next book, Jagdish. I can't wait to see it, too. I'm very excited. I don't know what's in it yet.
Can you tell us what the title is going to be?
I'm not going to tell you the title. No, I'm not going to. I know the title, but I'm not going to tell you the title. Just like I'm not going to tell you where the next Ascend event is going to be. But you'll be delighted. Oh, brother, thank you for jumping out here, bro, and thank you for participating.
No, thank you, John. Thank you for making this whole, for illuminating the path for all of us.
Thank you. That's exactly what I intend to do. Yeah, I didn't invent the path. I'm shining a light right now. And it's a tactical flashlight, in case you're wondering. So there's that, 1,000 lumens. All right, guys, we're going to go on to our next caller. Here we go. And that is Linda. You're live on the air, Linda.
Hey, John, thanks. I am so glad that I listened to the call tonight because here's the thing. Whether it's my own, predetermined mindset or whatever, I was starting to kind of question, is it too late? Like, have all the gains already been made in digital altitude? You know what I mean? Like, oh, did I get in too late? Oh, my God, like the money's already made. And, I'm here. I got about 800 or whatever leads in the back office. I got people going through their steps. And so anyways, yeah, I'm grateful for the reinforcement and just a little pump up. No, it's not too late. There's billions of people in the world, Linda. You can access them and such. Yep. So anyways, yeah, that's a common thing, I think, for me and maybe a lot of people is like, oh, we missed out. We weren't there in the first 6 months, kind of like insider trading or whatever. We weren't there right at the beginning. We weren't in the IPO, but we're still here. It's still the right time, right? Oh, yeah.
You know what? The first year of any company is usually a pretty rocky road. In our case, well, I wasn't here for the first 6 months of it, but DA broke every record in this first year. More commissions paid out in less time to more people. I mean, that's the bottom line. And are there bumps in the road? Yeah. Is it perfect? No, of course not. You know the kind of problems that you don't have to deal with because of the 150 people that are on staff dealing with them right now, Linda? We got problems. And it's not like we originated the problem. It's just part of life, part of doing business, right? Dealing with people in how many different countries do we have here? Oh, my goodness. And banks and merchant accounts and event planners and customs and trying to get the equipment into the other country. And now they're trying to levy a tax against the, you can't bring in your own lights and cameras and crap. I mean, you should see the stuff that goes on behind the scenes here.
Yeah, ask for better problems or ask for bigger problems. This is a problem I'd love to have.
All you got to do is market. That's it. Yeah. You know what? Maybe next week we'll bring on department heads from different departments, and they can describe to whatever degree they can, under non-disclosure, some of the crap they get to deal with, right? And then you can be even more in a gleeful state because none of those are your problems.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Linda. And go kick ass, right? Because if not you, then who? Right?
Exactly.
Somebody else?
I shall.
Thank you. All right. And so let's go to our next and final caller for tonight. Thanks again, Linda. And look who it is. It is Mr. Henderson himself.
Dr. Lavenia, how's it going tonight?
Yes, sir. You're live on the air.
Fantastic.
To use Glenn's words, please go forward, sir. How many times I've heard you say that on the Inside Digital Altitude call? For those of you who are brand new, Glenn Henderson hosted Inside Digital Altitude call, and that's how he always prompts people to start talking. Please go forward.
Shameless plug, teammates. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
That's it. And by the way, guys, we need you on that call, okay? This isn't Glenn and me lecturing or your guests or whatever. No, it's you sharing your wins.
It is
so
absolutely
be there.
Where every one of us gets to be a producer, right?
That's it. That's it. Go provide 60 seconds worth of value. Open your mouth. Do something.
Absolutely. Well, I got to
All
tell
right.
you, John, I am just absolutely excited on a number of levels about a lot of different things. One of the main things I'm thrilled about right now is the fact I've just learned today that with our marketing mastery event coming up in March, man, I'm fired up because you, my friend, are going to, for the very first time, you're going to get to meet my lovely wife, Paula. She's coming with me.
Oh, all right. Good
Oh,
stuff.
yes, indeed, man. And we are rolling. We're committed to pile ODA money. Well, listen, and actually that reminded me, put me in mind of the question I wanted to ask tonight. You're talking about mindset, as Jagdish so beautifully expressed, and I know that you talk about it all the time. I know from my own experience in this and other types of ventures that, man, it is so important to get around people who have the mindset that I want to acquire. And I wonder, John, could you just talk for a second about how coming to events and getting around the DA family contributes to this whole purpose of building that powerful mindset?
Right. It's the great accelerator, and nothing goes faster than immersion in the environment of success. So it's a huge topic, which we could have a whole call on. In fact, I've done entire talks and lectures on this. But the fastest way to become a millionaire is hang around with a bunch of millionaires. Because through the immersion in that environment, you pick up things just that you may not even be conscious of, just sort of like through osmosis, where little character traits and the beingness of it. Okay, so a lot of times when people think of modeling, certainly we can talk about the doingness, right? So here's oh well, they do this and that, so let me do this and that. Okay, so that's the doing part of it. But you'll find that when it comes to doing, we've got a variety of actions. Like, for example, Jason Stone, he's one of our top earners. He does Instagram. He does that really, really good. We've got Jesse Singh, right? He does search engine optimization. He does that really, really good. We got Darren and Rhonda Salkeld. They do cost per action marketing. They do that really, really good. Okay, so they're completely different methods. So you can't just model the doing part of it. But the being part, which precedes the doing, you'll find the common traits there. And when we look at the common traits of top earners, we look at them objectively. We could see, oh, well, they've all got the resolve. They've all got the commitment, the single-pointed, focus, that sort of thing. Those are strengths of character. Okay. In fact, we can read about this in books like Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Right? Mm-hmm. Great book to start with. If you guys haven't read that book, read that book. However, okay, that's just looking at it. Immersion in that, it starts to seep in, right? So try putting a sponge submerged underwater and try not getting the sponge wet. It doesn't work, right? The sponge has to get wet. It must absorb whatever's in the bucket, so to speak. And so that is the unparalleled value of events like this. It is the great accelerator. Nothing will hasten your evolution faster than that. Indispensable.
The great accelerator. Man, I feel a Facebook post coming on. Thanks for that, John.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So, but thank you, Glenn. And I know you're also a student of this, not just of marketing, but of life, And so a question like that, you see the depth of that question, everyone? Nothing wrong with the question about, how do I send an email to my list, right? By the way, I'm not going to answer that question tonight, but that's a fine question for, AWeber customer support or something, but it's a valid question. It's not a very deep one. What Glenn just asked is something that reveals something about his character, right? So consider that. And here's the thing, guys. I want to, and Glenn, I'll say this with you listening live on the line as well, okay? Because Glenn is into speaking and teaching and all this, as I am obviously as well. But a lot of times people think, oh, I've got to sound like John, or I've got to sound like Glenn, or I've got to be really highbrow. I mean, I've got to have some great intellectual crap that I can spout all over the internet. No, most people aren't 147 IQ like John Lavedia. I got to keep it really simple, right? I'm not gonna launch into, like, I've been studying philosophy for 30 years. What am I going to do? I'm going to get on and talk to people about that? No, I'm going to keep it really simple, because there's a gradient. You know what I mean? And most people, if you've been here for like 90 days, and if you've had, like me or one of the other senior coaches, you've been through a business plan and stuff, you know more than 90% of the people on the internet, at least. Okay? At least 90% of the people. You know more than most people right now who are watching 5 hours of TV a day. And back to Linda's point, as far as like market saturation and stuff, those people are asleep. Okay? And next week or next month or whenever, they're going to wake up and say, hey, my methods suck. My job sucks, and I'm not getting where I want to go. I should probably look for something else. And there's 7 billion of those people on the planet. And another 20,000 or so wake up every day. What's the stat on children born on planet Earth? About 20,000 per day. Okay, so if we just say, all right, now let's go forward however many years, and one day's worth of child production wakes up, okay, and says, my job sucks, okay? Let's say 20,000 of those people a day. Some of those people speak English. Some of them know how to use a computer. Okay, so that's 20,000 per day. Have at it. Try and saturate that market. Be my guest. Go do it. You'll be a multi-billionaire. Yeah.
Works for me.
That's it, man. And it's a different crowd every day. One of the things that I get to do, and some of you have experienced this, is I get to work with people who are going through some higher level steps, and I do some group coaching calls. And one of the reasons I do the group coaching calls, Glenn, is because we have interaction. People get to hear perspectives from other people, in addition to my perspective, right? And they also get exposed to speaking in public a little bit, right? Let's say there's 5 people on the call, and we're all on Skype. Some people have their camera on. Some people don't want to have their camera on. That's fine, right? But this is indoctrination into what? Into communicating with the marketplace, which includes humans, right? And so you got to kind of break the ice there. So we have that, which I host, and people, as part of the process, get to have a little bit of environment mixed in. It's not just watching videos of Michael Force running his mouth, as you go through the steps, right? Looking at charts and, slideshows. Okay, that's part of it, but that's not all of it, right? So yeah, environment, so huge. And guys and gals, listen to me. If there's any decision that you haven't made yet about, getting to marketing mastery, let me just go ahead and tell you, just go ahead and make that decision. Just make that decision, right? Especially if you're in the United States. Oh my goodness, you have no excuse. Especially if you're in the Western United States. And this is 2 months out. You could crawl. You could wait a month, then start crawling and still make it there in time from wherever you are on the United States continent right now. Your knees might be a little bloody, but you get the point, right? We are so early on this. Okay, that is a decision that everybody should make. I know we got people come from Australia, UK, Southeastern Asia, South America, right? Even exotic places like the Bronx, right, Glenn? Where are you from in New York originally? You're from Manhattan or Brooklyn? Oh, Glenn already muted himself. All right, I'm talking to nobody here. Let's go ahead and wrap up with that. Let's see here. Glenn, are you there? Glenn's gone. All right. I see you're still on the line, but you've muted your line. Anyway, Glenn's originally from New York. He lives in Houston now. But he is a New Yorker to the bone. All right, we're going to end Q&A. All right, guys, and thank you for sticking with me here tonight. And if you're listening on the podcast, thanks for tuning in. I will see everybody on the wake-up call at 10 a.m. Eastern U.S. time Tuesday. So in the meantime, make it a great night. You absolutely deserve it. And thank you all for your commentary in the chat roll. I see that Glenn just posted, originally from Brooklyn. I guess something was happening with his microphone. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you all real soon. Bye for now.